Broadcasting live from the haven of the Spirit Dragon on the plain of Tarkir, this is Tap Tap Concede.
I mean, yeah, this place is great if you're a dragon.
Yeah.
If you're a Spirit Dragon specifically.
It's kind of spiky. And I don't think Eugene was bathing while he was in here at all. Because
Like,
it's kind of... There's like 1,000 years of just like dead skin cells.
I don't want to be that guy, but this place, it wasn't built for me. And
It's a haven for
that
Spirit Dragons,
sort of
though.
offends me.
I tell you what. Haven for Spirit Dragons.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Graham here.
And Cameron.
Hi, I'm an Alex.
And Alex. Yeah. And we're going to talk about Dragons of Tarkir. And also, we've had a lot of people ask us to talk about the recent Commander rules changes. And I know it's been a couple weeks, but we haven't yet talked about that on the podcast, so we should. But first,
Excuse me.
we're going to do a crack-a-pack. And specifically,
Crack-a-crack.
this whole pile,
Oh.
this entire pile, a fresh stack of 20, we got given at PAX East. All of them.
Oh, wow.
And so I wanted to do one, before we start mixing and matching, I wanted to do one that we only draw from this pile. And I'm sure we already have done, but I just wanted to make that clear to thank you, everyone who came and dropped us off one of these at PAX East.
Hey.
You look like you want to roll.
Sure.
Give it a go.
Let's roll it.
All right.
All right. Rip it
One,
off the top.
Ravnica.
Rip it off the top. This is
Okay.
Return to Ravnica.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're hoping
This is from Dylan.
All right.
Thank you, Dylan.
Oh, they all signed it? Sweet.
Yeah, we got everyone's names.
Hey.
Awesome.
Gave this to Kathleen, I believe. She added it to the pile.
Chorus of Might.
Chorus of Might. It's 3 and a green for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and gains trample.
Seems good.
Oh, it seems like a game finisher for limited.
Yeah,
It's like da-da-da-da-da-da.
and especially because the Selesnya in Return to Ravnica was
Much tokens, very aggro.
Yeah, super grindy. Populate.
populate. I was like, proliferate? No, that's the one with counters.
Populate.
Populate.
Poo blade.
Still, though, it's 4 mana. Like, I don't think Dex...
Yeah.
Certainly, you didn't run more than one of these, but
No,
if
no.
I recall correctly.
Hey,
Electrickery.
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 It was actually really good.
It's a single red and deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control, but it has overload for 1 in a red, and then what you do there is you take the card text and you replace target with each. So it turns into it deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control.
Yeah.
Which is good against the populate deck if they have a whole ton of 1/1 birds or whatever it was.
Also, this card has sweet art.
It does. She's a spark fairy.
Pew, 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 pew.
Overload, of course, was the mechanic.
mechanic.
Yeah, the mechanic of the is it. Paralyzing Grasp, been reprinted a lot. It's 2 and a blue. Creature enchantment aura. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Notably, it does not tap the creature.
Yeah.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, so it's got to swing or activate its ability or...
And then you're just like,
Yeah.
haha, you never untap.
Yeah, but if you do it to a creature that is untapped, they can just be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess my
One
creature.
last fight.
I guess my creature has Defender now." And you're like,
There's
"Oh,
that too.
bummer."
Almost.
Oh, it's LSV's favorite card.
Axebane. Really?
There was a joke about 7 drops at the time.
Okay.
Axebane Stag. You can take the Axebane challenge. It's a 6/7 elk for 6 and a green.
Go on.
That's it.
Nope.
It's a 6/7
There
for
is
7.
no on.
What's the Axebane challenge?
Win a game with Axebane Stag.
A deck that can run it.
Turbo Fog.
But there was a joke at the time of Luis Scott Vargas being a big fan of 7 drops, and he did a couple draft videos where he was like, "Well, I guess I'll take this Axebane Stag."
Well,
Cobble Brute is an interesting card. It's
brutal.
this guy wasn't this guy in Conspiracy, or is it Modern Masters? I think he was in Conspiracy.
Yeah,
I've seen him recently in one of the non-expansion sets.
yeah.
I think it's Conspiracy.
I wound up picking this guy a lot because I was in Izzet Colors in this draft environment, and you always imagine he's going to trade up. Mm-hmm. And no. No.
He's a 5/2.
Yeah.
For 3 and a red.
He is only returned to Ravnica.
Only returned. Where did I see him then? Maybe
There's
someone.
something very similar in
Maybe someone
Conspiracy.
added a pack of Return to Ravnica to a conspiracy game, and I'm getting confused.
Possibly. I seem to remember something very similar in Conspiracy, though.
Hussar Patrol. It's a... Oh, yes, someone definitely added a pack of Return to Ravnica to...
Because you remember this guy too.
Because I had the Hussar Patrol, because I was splashing for Brago. Anyway, it's 2 white, blue for a 2/4 with Flash and Vigilance.
That actually seems pretty good.
Yeah.
You
but
could
like,
you could surprise block a bunch of stuff in this format.
yeah. I just remember people would be like, move to attackers.
Like waiting.
Yeah, it's like with the Hussar Patrol, you've got 4 blue, white open.
Yeah. So you gonna patrol me out or what?
Yeah.
Can I get patrolled?
Oh, this one was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Can I get...
Knightly Valor, 4 and a white for a creature enchantment. This is a kind of creature enchantment that even if they kill the creature, you get something out of it. It when it enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 white knight with Vigilance, and then the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and Vigilance.
So it's like 2 knights.
Yeah. And it can attack, like, it's basically you're getting a 2/2 with another 2/2, but the second one can attack right away because you're putting on a different creature. Knightly Valor was very good.
Yeah.
Again, especially in like the token deck where you were like, put it on this bird, now I have a 3/3 vigilant bird.
Sweet. Hating higher.
I try again.
Annihilating fire.
Annihilating Fire. 1 red instant, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead,
Goodbye.
which was useful in Return to Ravnica for creatures with Scavenge, because you can't scavenge from exile, and was useful in Standard for reasons that I don't recall at the moment.
Like
Well,
sideboard
there
tech
were
against-
Reanimator, like, what was it? Junk Rights was a thing.
Oh,
In
yeah,
the
yeah.
Standard environment
Right,
was
right.
the thing.
Though people, I guess in Standard, people played... what I'm actually thinking of is Pillar of Flame.
Yeah, because it was just 1 red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was real good.
That was a 2 damage shock that... 2 damage shock. Of course, it was a 2 damage for a single red that exiled as well. But anyway, I recall this being relevant.
Oh,
Stab Wound.
hate this card. Love this card.
Stab Wound's so much fun to resolve in draft, but not like the worst if you're having it resolved against you. It's a creature enchantment for 2 and a black. Gives a creature -2/-2. And at the beginning of your upkeep, beginning of the upkeep of the enchanted creature's controller, that player loses 2 life. So in its worst case, you're killing something with 2 toughness. In its best case, you're making their threat useless and just sitting back and waiting for it to kill them.
Yeah, the best was just like putting this on a defender.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that'd be
dirt.
good. It would go well on this guy, the Towering Indrik. It's a giant spider. It's exactly the same as a giant spider. It's 3 and a green for a 2/4 with reach. Why they printed this over giant spider, I don't actually know, because initially I was like, oh, I guess big spiders are not really in flavor for Ravnica.
Yeah, they
but
are.
there was
There were many spiders.
there was the big one with reach and trample, like the 7-drop or something.
Yeah, and then
Well-
there was also like a 3/3 reach spider.
Yeah,
This
What's
one
that?
has the beast subtype.
it does. One of the least relevant subtypes, I would say.
Oh, here's an uncommon.
Minotaur Aggressor. Speaking of things
Sir?
with 2 toughness
You're being very aggressive.
and
right
7 drops, 6 and a red for a 6/2 first strike with haste.
now. I guess he seems pretty decent.
So the 2 toughness is not a big deal when he has first strike because he's not really going to trade that badly in creature combat. Sorry, Minotaur Aggressor. Still though, 7 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that exciting for 7
Yeah.
mana.
No.
Okay.
I don't know from limit.
Oh, Thought Flare. It's 3 blue-red for an instant. Draw 4 cards, discard 2 cards.
Yeah, drawing 4 feels so good, even if you are like pitching 2.
That's a lot of card selection right there.
Yeah.
And it's 5 mana at instant speed to do that.
So it's like end of turn.
It's sort of
Right.
like Jace's Ingenuity.
Yeah. Yeah, you hold up counter mana, and then if they don't play anything, you Thought Flare.
Look at it like this. It's almost like a fact or fiction, but you choose what you make the piles.
Whoa.
And then you
Yeah.
choose the pile, and
You're
it's
right.
it's not actually like that, but it's still fine.
Yeah.
I like this guy, Brush Strider, 1 and a green for a 3/1 with Vigilance. That's it. I mean,
Yep.
trades a lot, but I managed to get usually you could get 6 damage in with this guy because there weren't a lot of 2-drops in Return to Ravnica. Gate Crash was 2 drops all day long, but Return to Ravnica, you could, if you got it on curve on turn 2, you could be like turn 3 hit, and turn 4 you could maybe back it up with removal and hit as well. So, all right, and then at the back we've got a Plains and a Centaur token. And let's see what our rare is. Bada. Wow. Ooh. Sphinx of the Chimes.
Ding.
It's 4 blue for a 5/6 with flying. So that's fine as it sits. But then also, discard. This was not relevant in draft. No. Discard 2 non-land cards with the same name. Draw 4 cards.
Nope.
So it's exactly the same amount of card advantage as Thought Flare, actually.
Yeah.
Because you're up 4 and down 2. Thought Flare actually has better selection because you draw 4 and then from your whole hand you have to discard 2.
Yeah.
Not 2 of the ones that you draw. This one you pitch ahead of time. This is almost like rummaging. And they have to be the same card, non-land card. I don't know if this guy ever did anything in Constructed, but...
No. But... he's a 5/6 flyer.
Exactly.
For 6.
So you ran him in Limited.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the pick out of this pack. Be that or Stab Wound, actually.
Yeah.
Stab Wound was very, very strong in this format. And the other place that Sphinx would not be good, actually, by way of segue, is Commander, because, of course, it's a singleton format. And...
you'll never have 2 cards with the same name.
no. So, yeah, Commander...
Big ol' shake up.
Yeah, which now, so first of all, I play Commander, though I don't play it a lot. I certainly don't play it competitively, and Alex does not. Cam, actually, you have that. Is it a Pauper Commander deck?
Yeah, although apparently it's not real Pauper because my commander is actually a common legendary creature instead of an uncommon creature, which is what you're supposed to have for Pauper.
For Pauper Commander, it's supposed to be an uncomp?
Yeah.
Well, then you're at a handicap then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is more real.
Yeah.
You're
It's closer to
OG
the
style.
More real than you. So, okay, there was a recent change to the Commander rules. For those who are unaware, Commander is a format that was not created by Wizards of the Coast, but Wizards of the Coast recognizes it and supports it. But the rules are not dictated by Wizards. There is an external third-party committee, the Commander Rules Committee, who decides the changes to be made. And recently they made a change involving what are called tuck effects, which is when you take a permanent from the battlefield and put it into someone's library. An example of this would be Condemn, which is it's a single white mana, put target attacking creature on the bottom of its owner's library. Right?
So like Spin into Myth was a popular one in Commander, I think.
Yep, and Spell Crumple, I believe, is a counter spell that does that. Spin into Myth, well, that's the one that does Fate Seal, isn't it?
It's still kind of a tuck effect.
Is Spin into Myth the one that you put it on the top of the deck and then Fate Seal?
and then Fate Seal too.
Yeah, okay. So you put it on the top of its owner's library, and Fate Seal was you get to then look at the top and decide whether or not to keep it there or put it on the bottom.
You're gonna bury them.
Yeah, and this rule change also affected bounce effects like return to hand, but that's less relevant. The change is, prior to this, if a creature died or was sent to exile, if your commander died or was sent to exile, you could, as a replacement, choose to put the commander back in your command zone. That's typically how Commander works, right? Is that you want to always have access to your commander. If someone kills it or tries to exile it, you go, no, it goes back in the command zone. And then you recast it for 2 colorless more for every time that happens. And so what they've changed is that now, if it is tucked or if it's bounced, you can then say, no, I'm going to put it back in my command zone rather than... You can still allow it to happen.
If your commander changes zones,
if it leaves the battlefield in any way, basically,
you may return it to the
you can't
command zone.
Technically, because I was reading about this.
go.
You can't say if it changes zones because the stack is a zone. But anyway, yeah, if it leaves the battlefield, basically, then you get to say no. It goes back in the command zone.
Interesting.
And I read that and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Okay. The consternation. Oh wow, it did get kind of dark, didn't it? I guess the sun must have gone down since we started the podcast. Paul's just
Dark side.
adjusting it back up a little bit. Could probably go a little brighter. Anyway, the consternation with this is that there's certain commanders that people feel that people relied on tuck effects to get rid of. I believe people had mentioned Derivi as one of them, and
Who's Derby?
Empyrean Tactician.
it's the bird wizard. Remember from Friday nights?
wizard.
It's a bird wizard. Let me read. Actually, here you go. I'm going to refer to an article that Sheldon Menery, who's a judge who's part of the Commander Rules Committee, wrote on Star City Games, where he explains and defends, because people were very upset, the reasons for this rules change. So one of the big ones is that the whole point of Commander is to play with your commander, right? Now, I know that some people may actually disagree with that, but the point of the format is that you pick a cool commander and you build a deck around them, and that the deck should support the commander and that the commander should influence the deck, and it's also supposed to be one sort of cohesive unit. And if you're trying to play that game and someone's like, oh, your commander goes into your deck, it's basically gone for the game, then you're like, oh, well,
I don't have access to my commander in this commander game that I'm playing.
exactly.
And everybody else has their commander, but I don't have my commander.
Yeah, and it's not a good feeling. It's not good, and I completely agree on that basis that it's like, no, we should be able to do that. Something else that their concern is that these tuck effects are basically only available in white and blue.
That seems,
Yeah, that seems more relevant.
And so it's
because like 2/5 of the color pie have an advantage over the rest.
yeah, and it seemed like from their observations that people were more inclined to run those colors so that they could access those effects to completely shut down other people's decks.
So what you're saying is that like Bant is just the best colors once again.
I guess. And then there's another thing that he brought up that I don't know if I completely buy, but basically that people were running tutor effects as tech against tuck, so that if their commander got tucked, then they could tutor it back up. And I don't know that was necessary. I mean, I can take their word on it, obviously.
Right.
But, the idea that people were basically making their decks worse by running these tutors.
It's like I play Worldly Tutor in case my commander gets buried.
Because
Yeah.
Worldly Tutor is so bad in a singleton format.
right?
Yeah, I don't buy the tutor argument. But
It's like those would be worth playing anyway.
yeah. No, like tutor effects are just really good in a singleton deck.
They're so
Yeah.
good that some singleton formats don't allow them. Like there was a format, I can't remember what it was. It was some singleton format that did not allow fetches.
Weird.
And I was like, interesting.
I was just thinking that in the original commander decks that they like the pre-gen commander decks that they made, where they had the oversized commanders,
Yeah.
and they also gave you the regular sized commander,
Yeah.
ostensibly for
was
this
for that
reason.
reason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now obviously is
So now
kind
we
of a
can use
moot point.
now we can use the oversized commanders without worrying about it.
Yeah. Also, Derivi, his last ability, I could see why
Could you remind me what Derivi's last ability is?
He can come from
Or
the
she,
command.
I think, whatever it
She can
matters.
come from the command zone into play for
Oh.
mana
Right.
at any without having to pay the extra 2 every time you come in
Okay.
Okay, but
as an instant.
But there's other ways to deal with Derivi.
But the idea though is that you can kill her as many times as you want, and she'll always come in for 4,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is pretty tough.
Yeah.
At instant speed. Oh, and you can just
speed,
sack
yeah.
her and recur her and
Okay. So yeah, I can see that being a problem, but the thing is, there's other ways to deal with that. I don't know. So and then his
does it have an ability that's any?
last point.
Oh, she also she's a 2/3 flyer, and when she enters the battlefield, or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap a permanent.
Huh.
It's very strong.
So she's pretty strong and also very difficult to get rid of. So that's I can
Well,
see
not
why.
difficult to get rid of, but she comes right back.
yeah.
Yeah, she is
Yeah.
effectively always in your hand and can always be played for 4 mana.
All right.
So that's tough.
It's like that might be just something to put on the watch list if it is like that busted.
And they've said that. They've said that while they think that the idea of creating a formalized literal watch list, he used that word, is something that he's not comfortable with, they are keeping an eye on Daravi, and Perforos actually is the other one that they mentioned. The last point that he made in this article was just for simplification of rules, that it just makes so much more sense to be like, if your commander leaves the battlefield, you can put it back in the command zone.
Actually, I can also buy that for the uniformity of rules.
Yeah. And
You know-
I think that and honestly, I think that the feel bads are the more important ones to me. That it's like you're building this deck with your commander. It's not like commander, and this is Sheldon Menery's words again. Commander is not meant to be like budget vintage, right? It's meant to be.
It's weird because like it's to me, Commander has always been a casual format.
Yeah, which is the
And
point.
There's people who play it as if it's a competitive format, and it's like, well, you can do whatever you want with it, but it's like the game is designed. You know what it's like? Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
Commander's a lot like Smash Brothers.
that's actually a really interesting point.
Well, that might be its own.
Only with a lot
discussion.
more effects that would make people trade the controllers around.
Because so like to expand on what you mean by that, Smash Brothers is a game that's ostensibly just like a fun party game where you hang out and do whatever with your friends.
And it turns out
But-
that it was
There's a lot of depth to it, and people play it at a highly competitive fighting game tournament level.
yeah. So it occupies this weird dual space of being really competitive and really casual at the same time.
It's important also to know that while you can now play Commander at FNM, and if you go to a GP, you can play 4-player Commander pods, I would say the vast majority of Commander games are still happening among friends in private play groups, and you can do whatever rules you want.
It's a kitchen table.
Yeah,
format,
exactly.
so-
If you and your buddies want to allow tuck, go for it. But if you're playing at a GP or if you're playing at FNM, know that you can't. And I don't know. I think that as with any change ever in Magic ever, with I think the exception of when they changed standard rotation, when they announced the change to standard rotation.
Okay, right.
With that notable exception, people get upset when there are changes because it's like, well, I've built this deck that works this way, and now it doesn't work that way, and I'm angry. And how could you not possibly have this vision that how could you not see all these changes that are going to be made?
Well, we do.
And the response from the Commander Rules Committee is like, no, we understand the changes that are going to be made, and we think that this is worth it.
Yeah.
So
The amount of problems that's going to solve seems like it's going to be more than the problems it will cause.
yeah,
Potential problems.
I think so.
You know
but
what this
there's some
really
very
reminds
angry
me
people
of?
in the comments.
Yeah, I bet. You remember when they changed the legend rule so that if you play a permanent with the same legendary name, it doesn't blow up both of them anymore?
Yeah.
Because, like, I was a little cranky about that, and then I was like, wait, no, this prevents people from playing Clone as a Vindicate
Yeah.
and playing Baby Jace as a
tech
destroy
against-
target
yeah.
Jace spell, because
Yeah.
it's like that's not what those cards are supposed to do.
Yeah, that is a function that they can accomplish with this rule in play. However, that's not what the rule was intended to. Like, that's not the effect the rule was intended to cause.
Yeah.
And like, I think there's an interesting discussion to be had around like intention and effect. Like, when you say that Commander is meant to be a casual format, that is a nebulous term.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's weird, right?
That's fair.
Because like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, what is a fun format?
Well, for some people,
For differing values
yes,
of fun.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like fun is not equal to everybody. It's like some people only have fun when they're really unfairly crushing everyone at the same time. And other people only have fun if they're just among friends, screwing around, making lots of tokens, and who cares if I lose?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you satisfy everybody? Well, you can't.
Yeah.
It's
No,
impossible.
so you like, eventually you wind up with a de facto definition of what casual or fun is based on, like, if you call Commander your casual fun format, and you cultivate a rule set around it, and you build a rule set around it, eventually you wind up with a de facto definition of casual and fun in the context of your game.
Right.
Right? Like these
Or
are
at
the
least
cards that
as it relates to that format.
Yeah. And and for what it's worth, I think having my commander shuffled into my deck is not fun because that's the whole flipping point of the deck that I built.
then
It's
again,
just like, goodbye forever.
Yeah.
my pauper deck led by
Ramaz. What's his name?
Ramirez Di Pietro.
Right. You
Who
just
is
wanted
for
a commander
4
in those colors.
4 blue black at common, a 4/3 with first strike. Please.
Wait, 4 blue black, and he has first strike.
Yeah.
Color pie, please.
Yep. RAMIREZ.
Ramirez. Get that card.
Oh right.
Look at
this
that.
this
What a
swashbuckling
handsome man.
guy.
Yeah. Art by Phil Folio. I was seriously considering getting an alt art,
He's gonna buckle some swash.
like a custom art where you just art him out of his own card and replace him with a scorched blast mark of a lightning bolt,
Nice.
because that's all he does. 6 mana, Ramirez, lightning bolt. Okay.
Okay.
I feel I came out better for that.
Yeah.
Well, because he's there because you wanted you're running a pauper deck and you wanted a commander in those colors.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I guess with my old, like...
I guess I don't know why. To me,
Then again,
the commander is super important, and it's like the whole sort of inspiration for building the deck. But
Yeah.
but again, that's me, and I feel that that's at least where the commander rules committee is coming from, is my kind of player.
Yeah, well, that's
But
the intent. It's sort of like...
I'm not everyone, and
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got the impression that the format caters on the end of Timmy and Johnny primarily, with Spike as an afterthought, which is fine.
well, my
because,
Treefolk deck is the least spiky deck
yeah,
I've
'cause
ever
it's just
built.
like Timmy and Johnny like playing Magic, and they should have formats that they can play Magic in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I can,
exactly.
You know,
Like years ago, we were at a con, and someone was like, "Hey, can I play Commander?" And what he done is taken his Highlander deck and just put a Commander in it.
I think he had Progenitus.
I can't remember, but he put a Commander on it, and it was like the Commander never got resolved. The Commander was irrelevant. He just destroyed someone with a competitive Highlander deck, and it's like, oh,
so
okay. I mean, that's valid. That's totally legal and within the rules.
But yeah, I
but
mean,
it's
it's
not
like-
in the spirit of the
Yeah.
format.
yeah,
Yeah, when your opponent goes like, land, Mox, Winter Orb, go. And you're just like,
That is a miserable
Yeah,
first
that's
turn.
pretty-
yeah, it's
that's
like,
pretty
this
harsh.
is going to be a game I'm going to have for about 20 minutes.
And then you're
because I
like-
have 40 life.
There's
Right.
Yeah.
one other commander you could have used who's even worse.
There's
Oh,
another
do
commander
tell.
that's even worse.
oh yeah,
Who's this?
Oh,
Paul?
she has 1 more point of toughness, though.
ooh,
This is Savitri.
Oh, Savitri Skarzam.
Skarzam. She is a 6/4 vanilla
okay. So she's
So there's a crawl worm. For 5 and 1 blue, 1 black.
Mother
So
of God.
Isn't
she's
she-
a
Is she actually a
6/4.
crawworm then?
Is she hugging a
Yeah.
crawworm there? No, she's like a nymph.
She costs
No.
She costs 1 more than a crawworm
God damn it.
Wow.
and is multicolored.
Wow.
To be in blue and black.
Legendary. Thank you.
Yeah.
And she's legendary, but she is a human.
This is when they were like, we should make creatures that are legendary. Why? Oh,
It's cool.
like
Really
the
sweet art.
mechanically, they didn't do anything
Yeah.
better. They were harder to anyway.
So I don't know. I would invite anybody who's like really tilted out of Commander from these rules changes to consider playing Highlander.
Yeah.
'Cause it may actually be more your speed.
Oh, this was amazing. I was in the coffee shop the other day, the Parsonage, just up the road from here. And this guy behind me in line heard me talking to one of the baristas about Magic, because the barista and us, actually, he was in Friday nights. He was the guy playing opposite Alex. When Alex just like stops responding and he's like,
Jordan.
Judge? Yeah. So he was in Friday nights. He's our barista at the coffee shop here.
He's so tall.
And we were talking about Magic, and the guy behind me just sort of pipes in and says something about Magic as well. I was like, oh, cool, you play too? And he's like, yeah, hey, actually, do you know anywhere around here where I could play Highlander? And I'm like, oh, did you just move here? He's like, yeah, I just moved. Like, oh, wow, that's crazy that you play Highlander, because I'm pretty sure Highlander is played in Germany, Melbourne, and here. It's like the only places it's played in the world. And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, I just moved here from Melbourne. It's like, oh, well, there we go then. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
You want to go to Yellow Jacket. It was
Yeah.
really funny. So, yeah, like I mean, as with any changes, I get being upset, but I think overall these are positive changes for the format. And if your concern is like, well, now so-and-so can play, Derivi, it's like, well, there's other creative ways to deal with it, or just make your deck better. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It's just like anytime, a card gets banned or unbanned or the rules change a little bit, it's just like, well, now the meta has to compensate.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That is how
Terminus
it
is
goes.
still good, by the way. I saw some people being like, well, better pull Terminus out of my deck. It's like,
what?
Terminus is
What
still
card is
very,
bananas?
very powerful. A Wrath that puts everything on the bottom of the decks is still very, very good, even if the commanders aren't going there.
If you want to get rid of your terminuses, please send them in
To the address below.
Yeah, and we will happily take them, and I'll play miracles.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I don't know. I envision a lot of Derivis spending most of their time encrusted.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. Or
See,
like,
to me, it sounds like effects like that will, get really good. And unfortunately, a lot of those are still in blue and white,
yeah.
but they're more,
Yeah, like-
they're much more reversible because like green has enchantment removal and red has artifact removal and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Why? I'm curious why
oh,
people
or
were
stab
worried
wounds.
about Perforos.
Yeah.
Was it just because
He's really good.
he's just a powerful engine? Because that seems like he would be. It sounds like a guy who would make a great commander.
Does he hit every opponent?
Oh, that could be why. What's his text say? Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control.
Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforos deals 2 damage to
there
each
you go.
opponent.
Each opponent.
There
Oh.
you go.
See, the other
No,
problem
no, no.
the other problem with all the gods is that they're indestructible and they come out as enchantments.
Oh,
So already you're extremely limited in the number of ways you can take them out.
Extremely relevant words in there. Perforos deals damage. That's all commander damage.
Right.
You need to play 10 creatures and Perforos wipes the...
okay.
And he also
Yeah.
he also fire breathes everybody.
That
Right. And he's
that maybe
indestructible,
sound-
so,
yeah,
okay.
That maybe
Okay.
sounds like
And
something
he's a
to
3-drop?
keep it 4-drop.
4.
4-drop.
But his mana cost is really easy.
So reshuffling him is a good way to get rid of indestructible guys.
Right. But
Yeah,
there's
also...
there's exile effects, there's non-targeted wrath, there's edicts, there's like
But if
there's ways to deal with him that aren't putting him in the deck. So
But if but when he's an enchantment, it's even more tricky.
Yeah.
So that's you need something that will exile or that will a non-targeted thing that will get rid of an enchantment.
I mean, it
which
might
is
just be something that
tricky
hits
to key.
the watch list as well, because it's like, well, maybe this is actually just too good for this format. So you're like, slam this guy, make a bunch of tokens, everybody dies at the same time.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's,
Although, what's in mono red that makes tokens besides Young Pyromancer?
Oh, right, you can only play mono red.
yeah, it's not like you're going to be like...
Oh, there's a lot of ways to
a
make
lot of
tokens.
goblins.
Oh, yeah.
Like Dragon Fodder,
And the functional identical reprint Krenko's command.
yeah, Krenko's Command.
Hammer of Perforos turns your mountains into tokens. Not that that's efficient.
Krenko Mob Boss.
Yeah, like
Goblin,
Siege Gang Commander.
Rebel Master.
Yeah. That you'll find a way.
Yeah, just that guy in like a mountain of goblins.
That sounds like a
actually
fun
sounds
deck.
Like, yeah,
Oh right, Rabble Master.
No wonder.
yeah. That
Okay,
actually
so
sounds like a
yeah.
sweet
Perforos
deck.
Goblins is actually kind of horrifying as an idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, get some. What's his? Is he a 3/3?
He's a 2/2.
No, Perforos.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a 5/6, 6/5.
What are his actual stats?
Oh, you
Oh,
went past him.
you have passed him.
Yeah, he's a 6/5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there's a lot of exile effects that hit that.
I'd hit that.
you got to be in Devotion 5.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, right. He's going to be a creature first. Right.
Tokens aren't going to get his devotion.
Huh.
No. Yeah, he's actually really hard to get rid of.
Seems like quite a humdinger.
Okay. So, so this actually perfectly illustrates the reason that I don't think that these rules changes are a problem. It's you have to strike a balance. It's important that people enjoy the format, right? The most number of people possible. People that play Perforos and Derivi are going to be upset about this. Everybody else
Who doesn't play those cards?
No. People who play Derivi and Perforos are going to love this.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. But it's like, I think this is helping more people and making the format better for more people than it is making the format worse for.
Yes.
Like, how many times are you going to face Perforos or Derivi or one of the other commanders that apparently is awful?
Also because it's a multiplayer format, it's like if you do that, then it's like, oh, well, 3-way alliance to crush this person.
Yup.
You know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think it's going to be a good change.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say I think people are overreacting because that's how Magic always goes. But I think,
Magic players overreacting over something?
I love that you had to take off your glasses. You were so surprised.
BRB
but-
selling collection.
Not that people don't have reasonable objections, but I
Yes.
think that by and large this is a good change. So I do look forward to seeing how things
It's gonna be a different
shake
game.
out, and I still need to finish my Minotaur deck. Who will also have an indestructible commander, Mogus. One other quick topic to get to before we finish up is that, not yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday because we're recording on Friday. Yesterday, James and I had the opportunity to be in the preview streamer Dragons draft before Dragons of Tarkir was officially released to Magic Online, which is available now in pre-release this weekend. And it was super fun. We were in a queue with Marshall Sutcliffe from Limited Resources, Mr. Scotty Mack from the A-Team, Paul Haumf Chion, Kenji Egashira, Numa the Nummy, Julian, that's embarrassing, I can't remember his last name, who also streams,
Mr. Julian.
and a member of WotC who had to step in because we only had 7 in the queue. And we were doing a Swiss event. It was Phantom. The way that these work, actually, they've done them for the last couple sets, and I think it's a really, really cool thing, is that they invite us all to do this. We all get, like, there's nothing on the line. We all get the same number of packs for participating. And they're phantoms, so we don't get to keep the cards. So it's just for the fun of it. And then everyone is encouraged to stream. And so people could go to like multi-Twitch and watch everyone's streams, or they would know that if it's us versus Scotty Mack, as happened in round 1, or us versus Paul Chion, as happened in round 2, you can pull up our stream and his stream, and you can watch both sides of it and get like a full picture of the game, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah. That's also an excellent learning tool,
Yeah.
right?
Watch Pro Tour champion Paul Chion crush Loading Ready Run for the second straight preview draft.
But
Last time we lost to him in...
You guys did pretty good in round 1, though. You crushed that guy in front of his daughter.
We did.
And then-
Scott McCallum's daughter was there. He was like, by the way, Lily is here. You're not going to crush a 4-year-old girl, are you? And we were like, well, if she's a scrub at Magic,
Yeah, it's like
we were having a good time.
she came to the field, not gonna crush a 4-year-old.
No, Scott's a good guy, and we had a fun game, but unfortunately, it was not to be, and it didn't help that he made a really unfortunate misclick in the first game where he cast Artful Maneuver on our creature, which turned a blowout for him into a blowout for us, and we sort of
bad feels.
it was a bad feel. But so our first pick was Secure the Wastes.
That's
Which
exciting.
is X and a white for an instant to put X 1/1 warrior tokens into play. So we're like, that seems good. That's sort of like a white fireball, right? As long as you get to untap and attack with them.
But it's an instant.
Yeah, and then we were like, okay, this is the way that this format works. Is it's Dragons of Tarkir, Fate Reforged. So Trumpet Blast is no longer in. Russia Battle is no longer in. What do we have? And later, a couple packs later, we managed to open Great Teacher's Decree, which is very similar to Russia Battle. It's all your creatures get +2/+1. It's a sorcery for 3 and a white. So all that is the same as Russia Battle, except whereas Russia Battle had and warriors gain lifelink, Great Teacher's Decree had Rebound. So our plan was end of turn, make a bunch of warriors, untap Great Teacher's Decree, slam you for a bunch, maybe trade off some guys, next turn slam you for a bunch again. We almost got to do that against Scott, but he conceded because the writing was on the wall in there. We almost got to do it against Kenji, but he made us discard.
Oh, I saw that.
He hit us with Mind Rot, and we had to discard a land, and we were trying to figure out which would be better to hold on to. So we discarded Great Teacher's Decree.
Yeah, no, that face.
We told him in chat, you just so you know, you ruined something beautiful. Because he was super dead to that. But yeah, we beat Scotty Mac. We lost to Paul Cheon in round 2, and then we lost to Kenji in round 3. But they were all really fun games, and we had a lot of fun. The nice thing about this is because there's nothing on the line, everyone's just having fun. So we were doing a lot of ridiculous smack talk in the Magic Online chat room that the viewers could enjoy. And yeah, I think they were really fun games. We only had 2 dragons in our deck. What's up with that? And one of them was from Fate Reforged. We had a Ward Scale Dragon from Fate Reforged, and our new one was the Acid Spewer Dragon, which is the Megamorph one, who we never got to... We used him as a morph. That's it. We played him on turn 3. We never got to flip him, because he got 7 mana to flip up.
What a dark.
That's a lot.
And you could make 6 soldiers for that mana.
Exactly. No, it was fun. It was super fun. I'm excited to draft the format more. Early impressions are that it's pretty sweet. And with Fate Reforged going last, it won't be in the same situation that Fate Reforged Cons was, where it's you open Fate Reforged and you always take the rare because all the rares are insane. It'll now be, you get yourself into a 2-color pairing, and then maybe you open a bomb and maybe you don't in the Fate Reforged pack. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and also you don't pick the rare and then pick the land and then the land.
Yeah, exactly. Land.
Right.
Typically, I think you'll want to stick to ally colors, even though we did not. We were in black-white because we went Secure the Wastes, Flatten were our first 3 picks.
JK Flatten.
JK Flatten. Very good card, by the way, that Flatten.
Making token pancakes.
Oh, yeah. That's what we called our deck. We called it, it was Cam's suggestion, actually. It was Making Token Pancakes.
That's...
But you probably want to stay in the allied color pairs. Blue, black, red, black, red, green, green, white, white, blue.
Just in case you open a Tarka in pack 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You want to be open to that. And then, yeah.
So even though we didn't, I mean, we went 1 and 2, so there you go. That's what happens if you don't pick ally colors. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. You can easily splash. If you remember, the land before Cons of Tarkir, the way that you drafted was you made a 2-color deck, and then maybe you splashed a 3rd color for 1 card, like we did. We splashed for Pyrotechnics because that card's bonk.
Ka-donk.
And now everyone's used to doing 3-color greed mode, and you don't have that option anymore. Like there's a couple lands in the Fate Reforged packs, and that's it. So you really want to stick to 2, and maybe you splash in for a 3rd, but you want to try and keep things under control. Calm down.
Be disciplined.
Come on, get it together. I'm trying to think of some cards from Dragons that were really, really good for us, other than Secure the Waste, Great Teacher's Decree, because that was sweet. Okud Cobra is such a good card, and it got hit with defeat every time we resolved it. But it's a very, very good card. It's a 2/5 for 3 and a red. Sorry, 3 and a black with Death Touch. 2/5 with Death Touch is really good. I don't know if that's good enough to get into any of your crazy decks, but 2/5 for 4 with Death Touch is really hard for them to block.
Yeah.
And it stops a lot of their aggression. You're just
Yeah.
But then they cast Defeat, and they defeat the snake.
Oh.
I think I still prefer the zombies from Cons of Tarkir.
The Shambling Attendants?
Yeah, the Shambling Attendants, because you could usually cast them for 3 or 4 with Delve and still feel okay about it.
I only usually cast them for 5 rather than 8.
Yeah. But again, same idea.
Yeah.
Something with a big butt that's difficult to block is Misery. And something with Death Touch and Toughness 5 is just ugh.
Yeah.
How do I
Sucks.
deal with this garbage?
You have to multi-block it, and there's no tricks.
No. I do like the bolster is fun. I think green-white is a powerful deck. Blue black obviously is very strong. I haven't actually seen the red green deck, but
I have.
it seems good.
Well, just the pre-release I played against the red green deck, and
right.
it's that the 3-drop 5/5 with tail swipe.
What?
Oh yeah,
The guy that can't attack or block unless you pay 2 mana.
Okay.
but he's a 5/5 for 3
Yeah, so he turns on ferocious.
or formidable.
Formidable.
Well, he turns on ferocious by himself, but
Yeah.
ferocious isn't in the thing. But formidable is.
it's in.
Oh, it's in Fate. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's in
You're
Fate.
right.
Yeah.
The Kolsama Behemoth, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just tail swipe.
Yeah, I don't mind a propaganda effect on one creature if it's a 5/5 for 3 that I can hit for 5 on turn 4 with.
Yeah.
If you get a Whisper of the Wilds, you could get that guy out on turn 2. No, no, you can't. Nope, that is not a
No,
thing
yeah,
that
that's not true.
I completely miscounted. Maybe in Standard, and you use one of the ignore that previous sentence that I just said. I apologize. Goodbye.
Sorry, who are you? Hi.
Game is rebooting right now. There it is.
Dung, dung, dung. Hey,
Tail
what's
slash.
up?
Sorry. my
Tail
bad.
Slash is brutal. It's like Fall of the Hammer, but it's
One more
it's
mana.
better costed. Yeah,
Fall of the Hammer was 1 in red.
Yeah, it was 1 in a
Yeah.
red, and
And it
this
was
is
bonkers.
and this is 2 in a red.
Yeah.
And this is still very, very good. Again, it's the one-sided fight. It's just this creature deals damage equal to its power to that creature,
Wait, are those?
but
the
your
same
guy doesn't get
card?
to fight back. Yeah, they're the same card, but Tail Swipe costs 1 colorless more,
Oh.
meaning it's better, or not better, but it's more appropriately costed for the effect. Also, to be fair, Theros had a greater number of smaller creatures, and there's a lot of big, burly things in this, or things with small toughness because of all the things that they're trading with Morph. So it's very easy to just be like, my Morph creature deals 2 damage to your whatever it is. There's a 4/2
Right.
with First Strike,
Right.
and it's like just get that out of here. Oh, that's a good use of 3 mana. Okay, what's up, Paul?
That has some awesome flavor text.
Oh. Yeah.
It is unwise to insult. It is unwise to insult the god of the forge. It is also unwise to stand near anyone else who has insulted him.
I forgot about that. So yeah, I'm literally 1 draft into Dragons of Tarkir, but I'm enjoying it so far, and I can't wait to start drafting it more regularly. I think that's it. Anybody else have anything else to add?
I think that's all. I have said all I have to say.
All right.
We are out of words.
No more words. In that case, thank you so much for listening. This podcast, as well as all our other podcasts and videos and stuff, is brought to you by our Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, to which we've just added our show Feed Dump as well. So check that out. We do value your support. It lets us bring you all the entertainment that we can. And yeah, that's it for this week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.